So this one is about politics in the 1920s. In 1920, we have a new election. It's the first time women get the right to vote. And women have a hand in electing Warren Harding, which was a big business Republican kind of guy. Now, Harding had a problem, okay? Harding's problem was he loved golf too much and he was lazy. So he would typically wake up around 8 o'clock, have breakfast with his friends till about 9 o'clock. He would do some business at the office, and then at 12 o'clock, Warren Harding would leave the White House and he would go golfing for the rest of the day. And he did this for years. Well, he was from Ohio, and he took a group of people with him to be his advisors, and they called them the Ohio Gang. And he put them in charge while he was out golfing. And these guys stole everything that wasn't nailed down. Eventually, Warren Harding is going to have a heart attack whenever he finds out that these men have betrayed him, and he's going to die, and Calvin Coolidge is going to pick up where he left off. But Calvin Coolidge is no golf hound, okay? Calvin Coolidge was an honest, hard-working Republican American, okay? He's known as Silent Cal because he barely ever spoke. And his reputation for honesty is the only thing that saved him from the Ohio gang scandals. And it not only saved him, but it saved the Republican Party in that election. Coolidge believes that the business of government is business. He said that the government, and this is called laissez-faire economics, the government should get out of the way of the people. The government should do everything it can to make the people more successful by staying out of the way. The less the government gets involved in capitalism, the better capitalism is going to be, according to Coolidge. And he's right. The economy roared to life. They cut taxes. People reinvested that money in business, and that made it where the pot grew, or the pie grew, the pie chart, So America was able to make more money because businesses were growing out of control. Well, he did take all of the regulations off of business in the stock market, and that caused a bunch of really bad problems that are going to lead to the Great Depression. After World War I, immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe flooded into America, resulting in the U.S. restricting immigration from certain countries. We have the Emergency Quota Act of 1921, limited the number of immigrants that could come to the U.S. from any one country. This quota system discriminated against immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe, since it gave higher quotas to the Northern and Western European countries. There's a reason for that, folks. Most of the people that founded this country were from Northern and Western Europe, okay? So the people that were here wanted people to come over that looked like them, that had the same culture, spoke the same languages and all that stuff, okay? So labor unions traditionally fought immigration, but with increased industrialization and urbanization of the 1920s, employers didn't need as much cheap immigrant labor, so they didn't want as many immigrants to come into the country. Around this time, we have the first Red Scare. If you remember from World War I, we had the Bolshevik Revolution where the communists took over Russia, and we thought that if communists could actually take over the largest country in the world in such a short period of time, then it could happen here. And just to go into a deep dive here on this, Karl Marx, the guy that invented communism, okay? He wrote the book, The Communist Manifesto. He basically invented labor unions as part of communism. So we thought here in America that these communist immigrants that were coming from Eastern Europe, the Russians basically, were coming here and they were going to get together with our labor unions and they were going to start a communist revolution here in America. Half the people in the country believed it, half the people in the country didn't believe it. But what solidified everybody's belief is the bombing of Wall Street right here by a terrorist organization that claimed to be communist. So now everybody thinks that the Red Scare is actually real. Americans believed that communists would take over the unions and eventually America and eventually America like they had in Russia. That's worded poorly. Anyway. Okay, I see what it was. It was the comma should have been here. Okay. All right, Attorney General William Palmer. So people are terrified of communists at this time. They're thinking that a communist takeover is coming. Well, to calm everybody's fears, the Attorney General of the United States, this is the lead attorney of the United States, William Palmer, he initiated something called the Palmer Raids. And basically what we did is we rounded up about 6,000 immigrants that came from Eastern Europe, from the Slavic-speaking countries, and we kicked them out of the country. We deported them. And with that happening, that calmed down everybody's fear a little bit. All right, here we go. In the Palmer Raids of 1920, federal agents arrested 6,000 suspected radicals. The agents believed that the arrested individuals were communists. Okay? Around this time, to fight the communists, the Ku Klux Klan is reinvented as a WASP, or a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant organization, and opposed blacks, immigrants, Jews, and Catholics, etc. The main people that the Klan was after this time, though, were the immigrants, because they wanted to stop communism. This is the anti-communism Klan. Okay? The Klan has come around 4 times in American history. This is the second, and it's the largest, because it's attached to something that is really popular, okay? It's attached to nationalism, which is the belief that your country is better than everybody else's. So basically, this nationalist Ku Klux Klan is trying to stop the communists. That's the point I'm trying to make. All right, Jim Crow racism, which became legal as a result of Plessy versus Ferguson, continues during the 1920s. The NAACP conducted an anti-lynching campaign, raising public awareness, but was blocked at the national level by a Southern filibuster. We're not going to get into that. There were 2 Italian guys, Sacco and Vanzetti. Okay, Sacco and Vanzetti. They were both accused of murder in a robbery. And the reason why is because they were troublemakers. They were actually going around the streets saying that they were atheist and anarchist. Now, an atheist is somebody that doesn't believe in God. An anarchist is somebody that doesn't believe the government has the right to exist. So they were going around trying to radicalize people, and a murder happened. And they couldn't find the murderers, so they just pinned it on Sacco and Vanzetti, and both of them were executed for that. The crime of being different, basically. All right, the Palmer Raids of 1920 ended when judges and the public questioned the legality of the raids. How did the government justify the Palmer Raids? Yep, A looks like the correct answer, folks, right here. They claimed radicals and union members were plotting to overthrow the government, and as had been done earlier in Russia. Okay, that is the point of that. And that is the end of this video.